it's important to be vulnerable while I'm creating this channel. And I do want to let you guys see more of me and some of the deeper stuff that you probably don't know about me. One thing that you don't know about me is that I actually had a miscarriage when I was 18 years old. I was in high school. I was working on graduating, and I wasn't so into school, so I was struggling to graduate, to be honest. That's one thing that you probably didn't know about me. Not because I'm not smart, but because I don't like rules, and I refused to do the work, and I had interest in other places. So, I got pregnant when I was 18. I was in a really toxic relationship, and I did not want the baby. I was very, very scared. Completely, shook my life in a way that I didn't know could happen. But it was just so real, everything felt so real. Life felt so real. I was just f***ing around, My current boyfriend at the time and I were not very safe. And I never thought it was gonna happen until it did. And I was terrified. But turns out, a couple weeks in, I think I was 8 weeks, I actually started bleeding when I was at work, and I didn't know what it was. I had already had my first ultrasound. I was deciding that I was going to just go through with it and just have the baby. And just going through that experience, even though I didn't want the baby, when I found out that I had lost the baby, it was a very real feeling as well of grief. And it's not that I was 100% on board. And part of me felt guilty for being happy that I had a miscarriage because I was not ready to have a child. And a lot of you guys have me on social media. I'm not ready to have a child. I don't think I want one. I don't know if later on I'll change my mind, but I'm open to the fact of not changing my mind and not wanting a child. But that experience really did change my life in so many ways, and it taught me so many things. But yeah, so I'm not gonna get too deep into the story because then we're gonna make the video 20 minutes long. If you have any questions, or I don't know, if you've been through the same thing, if you wanna shoot me a text, you can do that privately. So the second thing that you probably don't know about me is that I actually overdosed once on promethazine. And not in the way where I was doing promethazine because of the feeling and I was using it as a drug. I had the flu, and also I'm very irresponsible. And was very irresponsible. I'm not now. I should rephrase that. I was very irresponsible. I got prescribed promethazine, and obviously, you see the fucking rappers talk about lean and all this other shit, whatever. I never seen it like that until I had it with me, because I had a big bottle. And I had the flu and I felt like shit, and I wanted something to make me feel better. It was really bad. I forgot, I never took care of myself very much when I was younger, so I wasn't taking care of myself when I had the flu, so it got really, really bad. And once I got that bottle, I started taking it, obviously, as prescribed. And then one night, I felt really, really bad. I think my body was just aching. I had a headache. I wanted something to just soothe it. And I drank half the bottle. I kid you not. I went into the medicine cabinet, and I think I drank that much of the bottle. And it was very strong. So I go to bed. I'm like, it's cool, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna wake up fine. I'm not even gonna remember any of this. It's gonna make me pass the out. Well, it did. It did make me pass the out. And when I woke up in the middle of the night, it was 3 a.m. I could not breathe. The feeling that I felt was just, I was like, oh my God, I feel funny. And I tried to get up and I fell. I couldn't walk. And then my heart was beating so fucking fast. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like literally, like there was so much pressure on my chest that I just couldn't get myself to take a breath. It was the scariest thing I have ever experienced. And somehow I knew that I needed help, obviously. So I dragged myself like as I can to my mom's room, and I was like, can't even talk. I was just staring at her, and she seen me, and immediately, without like, it's just my mom's such a badass, like without reaction or anything, she gets her coat on and rushes me into the car, as I can barely walk, obviously. She helps me down the stairs, we get in the car and we run to the ER. And like, I remember in the car thinking like, this is it. Like, I felt like it was getting harder and harder to breathe, and it was harder and harder to stay like conscious. And my heart was just like I've never felt my heart like that in my life. So I get to the freaking emergency room, and like they lay me down, obviously, and rush me to a room. And I remember just laying down, and I passed the out, and I was like, this is it. Hey, I'm gonna die. And I was okay with it too. I remember I was so scared. And I actually woke up. I'm here. Guys, it was just so scary. And I've never experienced something like that again. I never underestimate drugs or prescriptions anymore. But that's something really dumb. Yo, like, what? Like, thinking back, like, what? Like, why would you do that? That experience taught me, and it changed my life as well, trust me. After that experience, I remember going back home and being so grateful. And we're not gonna tear up, you know, it's just, I was so grateful for everything, for my mom, for my home, and just being alive. I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, and never again, I was like, I don't need to alter my states of like discomfort or try to like run from discomfort like that like ever again, or soothing the pain and the emotions. Maybe if it's physical or whatever, whether you're sick or going through something, like it's not worth doing any of it. Yeah, no. So that's that story. So you probably didn't know that I OD'd once, but I survived and changed my life. So I look at it that way. And the last thing that you didn't know about me is that, you know how I go to raves and stuff, I've always wanted to experience those. Like when I was little, I would watch like really, really big like parties like that, and people jumping and just having a good time. And the music, I listened to music my entire life since my mother was pregnant in the womb. Like she told me she would play music for me. So I have like music just embedded in my heart. Like it's just a part of me. And when you're at a festival like that, you know, and you have these huge screens and music playing, it's so amazing. The feeling is just so euphoric, and the feelings that music just brings, those feelings of just being alive, you know, it's amazing. So one thing you didn't know about me is just that I grew up with music since day one. I know that I always try to share music on my socials. I'm always listening to music, and I feel like it brings us together, you know. So me and sharing that part of myself with you guys, the raving and stuff, there's always a deeper meaning why I do things. I never like to just do things. I truly believe if something makes you happy and you're able to experience those feelings of feeling alive and connected and loved, then do it in a safe way, you know. And that's one thing I've learned growing up, is how to live the way that I want to live in an extreme and, you know, euphoric way, but in a safe and responsible way. And I think that's huge. So I hope that you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit. I know that a lot of times it's very, very scary to share stuff like that for everyone, not just me. So, you know, being open like that, especially in front of like an audience and knowing that this is gonna go on the internet and people are going to see this, like it feels nice and safe here because it's only Jaden and I, but I know that this is gonna, you know, obviously be up there forever. So it means a lot that I feel that connection to be able to share stuff like that with you guys. It feels real, you know? So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos, and I will see you in the next one.